Welcome back, everybody, to Santa Fe Fashion Week's YouTube channel. I'm really excited to have Wilfred on our call today, and we're in sunny Florida. Is it sunny today? I know it was raining yesterday.
Oh no, it's super sunny today.
Tell our audience a little bit about yourself. I know you work in the fashion industry. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
I'm Cuban. I'm Cuban American. I got it here in 1989. I've been in fashion since I am all my life because my mother was a couturist and she always taught classes in our house in La Habana. So I grew up knowing what it was, pins and scissors and fabric, and I started developing this love for the movement of fabric. If you see my collections or my pictures, you will see that it's always the movement of silk, sexiness, whatever. So I grew up, then we went to Costa Rica, and from Costa Rica, we came to Miami, and I keep doing through all my life, I keep doing, even my friends, I used to have a friend in Costa Rica that he used to do drags. So I will do the dresses and whatever. And then I came over and I started going to college, and I graduated from theater and costume design and directing. But then my life has been between fashion and theater since I was a kid, and fashion opened the door, and you make more money in fashion than in theater, at least here in Miami. And I started working in different houses until I land this job in Ana Lili. Ana Lili, I was the creative director for 11 years, and then I quit. I left the company, and since then I have been like running through different things, like styling classes in a college here in Miami, teaching models how to mix acting with modeling. Also, I have been directing runways, and right now I'm totally I'm waiting for my next step in fashion, because there is something, fashion never stop, and you have to. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be sitting around, because one day you are in and the next day you are out because somebody came in. So that's what I always tell my students and my coworkers. I go like, dude, don't sleep here. Move on. Go to the next level.
I think there's a lot of ties between costuming and fashion, models and acting. And last time we spoke on the phone, I talked a little bit about me producing more of these fashion films. Is theatrical in a way, right? Rather than the runway show, it's more of a film production, and the models actually getting into character. So just going up and down the runway.
It is very funny. Like I was telling you yesterday, the real action, the real fun is behind the scene, because the fashion show, last 11 minutes, 12 minutes, no more than that. I know, but everything that happened behind the scene, makeup, the drama, the hair, it's sometimes you have to do the fitting like a half an hour before so you see the models just putting thing and pinning and whatever, because everything is just fast. And I was going to refer also, mixing acting with modeling is perfect. I like it because when you start a class, the first thing that I do is I put the models to walk. And I go, okay, whatever. So then I start doing acting exercises. If by the end of 2 hours, the models are like in point, super, super clean, super attitude-wise, whatever I wanted, they express it to me. So it's a little bit like an acting on the runway, even though you don't talk.
No, a lot of times whatever they're wearing should express their attitude. If they're wearing evening wear or sporting type clothing. A lot of people don't realize, when we produce regional fashion week, a lot of times we're featuring 12 to 15 to 20 designers, a lot of designers. For a lot of these designers, they're coming in from out of state, so it's the first time they're meeting these models. And then, like you said, the back of the house, they're fitting the models, and then some of the models wanted for certain designers, and certain designers want different models. A little upset because they didn't get the designer they wanted, and sometimes the designers there always seems to be like the top 5 or 10 favorite models. So there is a lot of drama that goes on behind the scenes that people don't realize these shows are really set up for one designer and one design only, right? So they go, they do their look, not like a regional show where there is so many designers in one show.
The last show that I did that I direct, there were like 9 designers. But the person who put the casting together, she did a very good job because each designer knew the models and whatever they were going to wear. Even though there were like, 9 designers, we had like 25 models. So we divide the designers with the models, and we set it up very cool in the back, so it wasn't like a confusing. At the end, it's always confusing because it's fast. But the designers choose the models before they got into the venue. I guess this lady sent the pictures or sent video with the casting of all the models. I think each one choose the models. I think that process is a little easier,
right,
than not doing the casting the same day, the fitting the same day. But it can be done.
Yeah, the way we do it here in Mexico, like we'll do a casting call maybe a month or 2 before the show, right? So we whittle them down to so many different models. And then the day of the show, the designers and models, their maker gets there a little bit early. And then we have designers pick those models from the models that we chose. Does that make sense? And a lot of times what I have found, and the reason I kind of that way, is if I send all designers the models that we believe will be in the show, if some of those models don't show up for whatever reason, then you've got a real problem. They kind of choose those models, and we'll do a rehearsal. So we leave like 3 or 4 hours in the morning where they can pick the models, but it is a little bit of a cluster because they are picking the models are getting fitted. There are so many designers to make sure you have enough time for quick changes like that. So it's pretty convoluted.
What I always do when I have a show like that, if it's more than one designer, I plan my day, and I don't start at 12. I start at 9. I start makeup and hair at 9. If there's that many models, of course you have to provide food and lunch and break and whatever, and comfy, and it has to be a comfortable place for the models. Because I have been in fashion shows when I see the backstage, man, that looks like a Chinese factory. Super small. There is no water. And they go like through. And you need to treat your girls right always. You need to respect them. You need to give them the attention, because at the end they are gonna sell your clothes. They're gonna sell your pieces. So they have to be happy. Always, the models has to be happy.
So the houses you've worked with, are they larger designers? Were they emerging designers? What kind of designs you've been working with?
I work with Olean. Well, my first stepping into the houses, I worked first one with Tricia Fix. Tricia Fix was she designed for Paris Hilton and all this back in 2005 or 4. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you're gonna see everything is over there. But then I jumped to this house, Ana Lily, and I'm gonna mention it again because that was my first big house here in Miami. We have around 800 boutiques that will buy our stuff. The highest profit were in 1 year $40 million. So the company grew a lot, and but I wasn't growing. I was not growing. I always told my CEO, what is next for me? And she said, your next position is mine, and I'm going to give it to you. So, so it got to the point that even though I like everybody over there, I got bored. I got tired of, doing exactly the same for 11 years, creating, directing photo shoots, So I keep moving on. I work, in the university also with the styling students. And what else? I work with Xstyle, which is an emerging company that it didn't make it. People don't understand that fashion needs a lot of financial support. It's not just make 20 pieces. Oh, I did my collection, and I go, okay, What about the next one? It's in 3 months. Come on, start moving. People don't get that.
Mhm.
People think most of designers, and this is my, you guys have to have a financial base to start.
We spoke a little bit yesterday on the phone. We talked about that too, about Magic, which is a trade show in Las Vegas, Nevada. In order to attend, you have to be in the industry, either a buyer or there's manufacturers from all over the world, there's fashion designers from all over the world. When you walk through there, there's some really well-established designers, and there's like it's 10 feet, it's 10 deep. People waiting to place orders with these big designers, and then you see other designers that have a booth, and like you said yesterday, it was like 10 to 20 grand just to start off to have one of these vendor booths. And I think a lot of them are hoping to draft off all these attendees. So they're walking by, and the designer may be a really great designer, but nobody has ever heard of them, and they're hoping to make some business. And in order to be in one of these shows, you have to have a lookbook, which is very expensive, a bunch of books to give out to the potential buyers. And then obviously your collection, which costs a lot of, like you said, it costs a lot of money. And what's your thoughts? I mean, be it, for a designer to attend, let's say, a fashion week or a trade show, is that something they should start right out of they build the first collection, or what do you think is a process?
I don't think as a new designer, you should just open up with a fashion show in New York Fashion Week, or you should rent a booth in Magic or Coterie in New York, because it's too expensive. I think I would, if I was out in your shoes, I would first find my silhouette. What is my silhouette? Do the study of the market that I'm gonna serve. Then work with social media that is totally free. And start putting my content out there. Create a name. Try to get somebody to wear your clothes. Be creative with your reels or your TikTok, so you can gain a name. And then when you gain the name, you can contact also your local boutiques, so they start carrying your line. But always think that you need a financial backup. That is more very, very important, because when you release the first collection, you need to start thinking in production, and then you need to start thinking about your second collection. And there are a point that you are working in the production for the first one. The second has to be shooting. I mean, photos and studio videos or whatever. And then you have to start thinking about the third one. And all this happened in 6 months. Remember, we release, most of the company release 5 seasons a year. So there is not much time between. So yeah, put yourself out there, show who you are, be authentic, but don't go spending. I mean, there are places that you can do a fashion show for free. And also there are modeling schools that give you the models for free, but you have to work in collaboration there. I mean, when I did this project, I was talking to you yesterday about this project that we did in the middle of the pandemic, and we did 22 photo shoots and we didn't spend one penny, because we have collaboration every week from models, designers, makeup artists, locations. I mean, when I said, okay, this is a collaboration work, it's only gonna be 4 hours. You need to be very conscious of their time. You cannot say it's gonna be 4 hours and then spend the whole day, because they are not getting paid for that. So you have to put those lines very clear. And we did it in a moment that nobody get in touch with anybody. Everybody was with the mask, hiding behind doors, and the world almost stopped.
Going back to collections, we have some fashion schools here in New Mexico, and when you're ready to make your first collection, some people are still they're kind of like still making their own clothing. They're not even working with the manufacturer yet. When is the time to make that leap? Like, let's say, you sketch out some items, and I guess you can mock them up. Do you go to a boutique and place an order, and now you're finding a manufacturer to make these these outfits, when I've talked to manufacturers where they say the designers don't even really know out of school, they don't really know how to work with manufacturers. They don't know a
Yes.
pattern, maybe know
They don't
pattern
know.
making, but they don't know how to make that transition from school to work to manufacturer.
I have been with fashion students that they don't even know how to sew. They don't know how to. They are very good with Photoshop, illustration, but you see them in a joking machine and they don't know how to use it. And even if you, as a designer, you're not going to sew or sit down, you need to know how to sew because you have to give instruction. How do you want your garment to look, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they are very soft regarding sewing. Number one. Number two, at that point when you're going to do the transition, is happening almost seamless at the same time because you are selling your first collection to your few first clients, and you want to deliver the best quality because the money that you do in fashion is not the first order. It's this reorder from the same boutiques over and over. And when the clients, it's such a reaction for real. When the client of that boutique come and buy your stuff and they love the fit, they love the finish, they come back for more. Then they go to see you in social media. Then they go visit your website. When they buy in your website, all the retail price, it comes to your company. When you sell to the boutique, you give them a wholesale price, which you are making less money. Selling in the website is higher in gain when you have a big movement in the website, and that's depending. But yeah, the transition, it has to happen at the same time. Be ready, do your first collection, be ready. What are you gonna do? Do you have seamstresses? You need at least 4 or 5 seamstresses. I don't recommend you to go and sit down in a machine and build 45 skirts while your time is more precious while you are designing or creating. Know your place. For the reason I keep telling my friends, you need to have a financial backup, or you need to have somebody that is going to tell you, hey, go create, I'm going to take care of business. But it's difficult. It's not impossible, but there is a lot of brands. I mean, the other day I went to this website, I don't remember the name, and I got a shirt for $20. And when it got here, I was like, oh my God, the quality, the finish, everything's super, super well done. And I got like $20. Yeah. So there is a lot of things, but you have to find your niche. Number one. Number two, you need to find your silhouette. Because Chanel is Chanel in 2010. I'm sorry, in 1910, as Chanel was like last week when they did the fashion show. It is the silhouette, the same silhouette. Like I told you yesterday, Karl Lagerfeld did a great job with Chanel because he didn't change Chanel. He revived Chanel and make it more universal. Small designers and reps. You can have reps in the house, like one rep in the house, and you send this rep with the collection to different places. Or you can have a showroom in the main theaters in the cities, which is Vegas, Atlanta, New York, Miami, or Florida, and then LA. You choose. You don't need to have a showroom in every city, but the showroom is going to charge you a fee, and you're also going to have to pay them a commission around 12-13% sales. When you have that kind of movement, we're talking about big dollars, because you have to pay the show. When you do the contract with the showroom, you have to send the money up front. You sign the papers, and then you send the collection. And then sometimes they go like, I don't like this. And you need to be very open, because the rep is the one who is dealing with the client, with the boutiques or the stores, or it's a personal client. And they make comments that you as a designer, you have to follow. You have to learn. You have to listen. It took me a long time. It took me a long time not to listen to the reps, and my CEO is screaming at me, "Yeah, that's not what they want, but this is what I want." But it's not selling. So sometimes you just have to go with the flow. If they want a certain, like for example, everything has to be bra friendly. Bra friendly is one thing, and everything. Most women don't like to have sleeveless stuff.
Okay.
That's something that comments that I always hear. I know my arms, but it also depends what is your audience, what is your clientele, because if you have, but the reason I insist, what is your niche? Number one.
Right.
Number two, define your silhouette. Number three, create everything around. Outlets, like this lady know how to sew. Can she sew for me 20 pieces? Because if I'm starting smaller, I'm going to rent a place, and I don't want to buy 20 machines. You know what I mean? So find your community, people that know how to sew in their houses. I don't know how difficult it is over there. I guess sometimes it's hard to find good seamstress, but it's not impossible. So I don't know, New Mexico or whoever is listening to this, but just find it. Just find it. Yep. And that's about it. I mean, make sure that the quality and the fit is perfect, and delivery dates. There are two things that kill a company. Two things: fitting and delivery dates. Because the client doesn't care if the seamstress is sick. The client wants the merchandise hanging in the store. So you need to be very conscious. You need to open. Remember, is your name the one that is in the building? So you need to keep it up with the quality, and if not, they're not going to come back.
You always hear people say, follow your passion, or I'm making this, when it comes to art, I'm making something I really like, and not screw the customer, but this is what I like, and that's why I'm going to make it. I think you have to be open to criticism, right? I mean, if you want, if you don't care if anybody buys your thing, but you have to have pretty thick skin, right? Because you're making something some people are going to criticize. The buyer might say, hey, I want it this way, I want it that way. So you decide for yourself if you're willing to work people and taking that criticism, the changes that need to be made, and going back to the being well funded, because if you're lucky enough to get a showroom, you have to pay them up front, and you have to have the money for the collection, put in a showroom, and then somebody places the order. Sometimes they'll put the deposit, right, for so much of the pieces, but you're going to have to fund a lot of that.
It is important, and actually, you do your first collection, right? Then you find, let's say, one or two showroom. You have to send all those pieces. You have to just duplicates. I call it duplicates. To the collection. The showroom has to have your whole collection and exhibit so they can sell it. So we are talking about more money. Now, if you don't want to put I always recommend showrooms, because it's like if you get a good name, a good shape, a good fitting, a good reputation, the orders just come in. You just have to deliver. And when they go, every showroom goes to the shows. that shows that we were talking that cost $25,000. Every showroom goes to those shows. So if your collection is in one showroom, they're gonna take your collection there. Probably they're gonna charge you a fee of $3,000-$4,000, but it's gonna be smaller than you taking your collection to Magic or to Coterie or one of those.
Interesting. You're a wealth of information, and I appreciate your time. Closing thoughts?
Just follow your passion, but be logical. Be logical. Just remember, and I always mention this, and I told you yesterday, Schiaparelli is only one. Elsa died back, I don't remember what year, but Elsa Schiaparelli, which was the founder of Schiaparelli, Danielle is now designing. They are just one, unique. Don't try to imitate anybody. Just be yourself and listen to, I mean, Schiaparelli, it can sell 20 dresses, but they have the name of, they can sell $15,000-$20,000 for a dress, you know? And we are not there yet, but you guys can go. So be logical, listen to la gente, ask questions. That's about it.
I appreciate it.